Hey, Jason here with World Compassion. Just had an opportunity recently to sit down with a longtime friend of ours, a gentleman who has a wealth of knowledge of what's going on in the Middle East. He talks to Middle Eastern leaders often, military generals, political leaders, people of influence in governments in the Middle East. General George Sada. Many people who have followed World Compassion over the years know of General George Sada. He is the author of Saddam's Secrets. He was an air vice marshal in the Iraqi military under the time that Saddam Hussein led the nation, and was able to sit with him and to hear some insider information, to glean wisdom and knowledge and understanding from him about what is going on in the Middle East right now, especially with the United States decision recently to pull away from Syria, Turkey coming in on their offensive, Russia's in the game now. How does Iran fit into this? We were able to speak to a number of these different issues. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Here's part 3. Today, the day we're doing this interview, we just got wind that several, I don't know if it's thousands or hundreds, soldiers, ISIS soldiers from Mosul are being moved to Baghdad. I was talking with somebody else in the office here, and they mentioned there's been talks about taking those soldiers and sending them back to the countries that they came from, because there's some European Muslims that came over to fight, and having those countries try them. And what do you think is going to happen? How should that whole issue be handled?
Yes, and actually I call it always, here is the main issue, the disaster. It is the ISIS, because these ISIS are alive now. And they are in prisons, and their number is very big. Some say it's 7,000, and some say, no, it's 12,000. You just imagine 12,000 people from ISIS still alive who have fought against Iraq and against Syria. Certainly, at the end of the day, even the ISIS are human beings. If you threw them in the hands of Syrian and in the hands of Iraq, only God knows what they will do with them. But again, we, as peaceful people, we want these people to be treated as human beings. Yes, they have fought. Yes, they have done that. Therefore, I still think that these people should be treated internationally, not by any of these countries, because we don't like them in Iraq. The Iraqis, if he see any ISIS, he will kill him, because he have destroyed the country. Mm-hmm. The Syrians, the same thing. If you ask me, shall we send them to Turkey? I will say no. Because there are many who are accusing Turkey, because through Turkey, more than 40,000 of these ISIS entered Iraq and Syria. Therefore, internationally, these people should be treated. Internationally to be treated, they will be given their rights, even they were fighters. Because there is a big story of where from they come, who was financing them, who was arming them. It's a big story. You know, it starts from Arab countries and other countries.
That's even more complicated. There's so many
even more complicated. And that is why it should be not solved by these countries. It should be solved internationally. Because the issue of ISIS became an international. Why? Because internationally there were forces who were fighting the ISIS, including or not including, by leadership of America, of the United States of America. There were French, there were other countries there fighting the ISIS. Therefore, how to solve the issue of the ISIS who are alive, it should be again international.
International community.
Yes, because that will be fair. And I'm sure at that time, they will be treated according to the law, international law. So, the issue of ISIS is entirely another issue, and it is a tough one, but definitely they should not be released free. If they will be released free, this is another new game, a new picture of creating problems in the area. Therefore, we as United States of America, now I am talking as an American, we should not let these people to be free. These people should be, by some way, taken internationally and deal with them internationally. That is how I think what to do with ISIS.
Can we talk about Iran a little bit?
Yes.
So I have an opinion. It feels like, and because a couple years ago you were aware that we were held at gunpoint for about an hour from an Iranian militia group right after ISIS was taken out in the Mosul area. We were coming down and looking at a couple of areas that we were going to provide help in. and we even had a Kurdish government escort, and we were taken over by a militia group from Iran. And so we saw firsthand the influence that Iran now has in Iraq. And that was 2 years ago now.
Yes.
In my opinion, it really feels like, and maybe you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, it feels like Iraq really is just an extension of Iran. It basically is a province of the country of Iran because of how influential they are in Iraq now. Is that accurate? Is that a fair statement?
Yes, and I will add a bit. Actually, after 2003, sadly, when America moved the Saddam regime, not intentionally, but Iraq was fallen in the hand of Iran. And Iran are very expert of how to be influenced in the areas, starting from Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. They managed to build something there to reinforce their positions in these countries. And let us now talk about Iraq. You know, in Iraq there are more than 67 militias, officially militias. In the law of Iraq, we should not have militias. But they have given them a name. They are under the commander-in-chief of Iraq, as if they are legally.
So they've kind of officialized them.
Officialized them. Thank you very much. That is the right word. But frankly speaking, I know 100% some of these militias, they don't obey and they don't go to the orders of the Iraqi commander-in-chief, which is the prime minister. But they go direct under the Iranian leaders or commanders, whatever you call them. And these people have announced it. It's not a secret. I am not saying a secret now.
Yeah.
They have announced that our commander-in-chief is in Iran, and we will do everything to death, whatever orders come from Iran. This is what...
So they're advancing the interest of Iran,
Yes.
even all the way over into Israel.
Yes, all the way in the Middle East. Why? Because, you see, there is a Shia plan. They call it, in Arabic, they call it Al-Hilal al-Shi'i. It means the Shia crescent, which it starts from Syria, Lebanon, finishes in Iraq, and goes to Iran. So that crescent, that is the aim of Iranian to create in the area.
Because of their religious beliefs.
It's, yeah. That's Shia.
Yeah.
That, by the way, that's Shia. And this is also not secret. Everybody knows it. The Sunnis knows it. Yeah. The Sunni governments, Saudi Arabia, Emirates, Jordan, all the countries, they know it. And now they can see it in front of their eyes. It's happening. And it is gone to Yemen. And you know, when you turn like that and come to Yemen, it means you are coming behind of Saudi Arabia. So now you can say that Iran is in touch, completely in touch with Saudi Arabia in that area.
And that's Shia.
That's Shia.
And Saudi Arabia is Sunni.
Sunni.
So now they're bothered.
So now we are again coming to the most complicated issue, creating in the area Sunni-Shia problem. Sunni-Shia problem is not from now. Sunni-Shia problem is from...
1,400 years?
Yes, 1,400 years back. Now the Iranians brought it and make it brand new. It is now brand new Sunni-Shia, which it will destroy the area. I mean, actually, neither the Sunnis will get something of it, nor the Shia will get something. Now I can show it to you in Iraq. It is a Shia government, yes, but if you go and ask the Shia people from south, did you get anything? They will say, no, we are even destroyed. Everything is gone worse than before. Therefore, here is the time of the good Iraqis, good Syrians, good Lebanese, and good the others to think, hey, wait a minute. At the end of the day, the Iranians have managed to shift the fight in the other territories. But why we should accept it? Like Iraqis. Why Iraqis should accept a fight to happen between anybody in the area but on the land of Iraq? Why? What is the interest of Iraq to do that? And here is the complication now. The Shia people are now demonstrating in Iraq. And the Shia people are doing something, they call it revolution, against the new system which it is created in Iraq, controlled from abroad. Controlled from abroad, they mean controlled by Iran. And that is why, dear Jason, this issue is not a small one. It's all connected. And that is why it's very complicated. And I think it's the time that internationally to put more pressure and to create a tool or, let me say, a system to make peace in the area. If not, no peace will be in the area.
Do you think that should be governments, or do you think that should be an independent agency?
I think government, it will not be successful.
Because everybody has interest. They've
Yes,
got oil
everybody
interest, they've
will.
got economic interest.
Everybody will try to make it how it will work with
Benefit them.
And some of the governments, they have lost their control in the country. Some of them, like Iraq, they should do only what Iran says.
Yeah.
And Iran agrees. If not, they will not accept it. That is why I say World Compassion, United Nations, and other people should do this, but officially. I mean, not, even United Nations alone by itself, not supported by Russia, by America, by other countries, by Turkey, by Iran, they will not do anything. It's complicated.
I think about often when we talk about this issue, and even the Sunni and Shia issue, I go back to the story of Isaac and Ishmael in the Bible. And when Hagar is sitting at the well, the angel appears to her. And I believe that story is an example of a promise given to Sarah and Abraham, and they took that promise from God into their own hands.
Yes.
And they try to make it happen their own way, but not God's way.
Yes.
And, Abraham and Hagar get together, but the angel appears to Hagar and he says, "You're with a child," and he's going to bless that child. And I believe the Muslim people have been blessed because Muslim people believe they're descendants of Ishmael.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, they believe
But
100%.
he
And they
says-
are actually.
Yeah, but he says something interesting. He said, "He will be a wild man, and it will be his hand against every man's hand." And I think that, to me, solidifies, and as a prophetic word in the Old Testament,
It's happening now in the
that
ground.
we are seeing happen right now.
Yes.
So, and I don't know if we can really answer this, but because of that, I mean, to me, that's an authority. The Bible's an authority in my life, and what we believe at World Compassion. Is there truly ever going to become a solution in the Middle East? Can peace ever really be accomplished outside of Jesus? And do you think that'll even happen in the earth
If
until
you will
Jesus
ask
comes
me,
back?
if you will ask me, what is the solution? Proudly I will say, and loudly I will say, that the solution is Jesus Christ. And if you tell me how, I will tell you to create peace, because He is the Prince of Peace. And when we are talking about peace, that means that the solution is Jesus. All other solutions, I can declare now, they will fail.
I think about Scripture again too. It says, Colossians 3:14 says, "Love is the bond of perfection." It's what binds people together perfectly. But love does not parade itself. It's not ever focused on its self-interest, and it always costs something. Love always
Yes.
costs. Until humanity, until Christians, until we in our marriages, at whatever level of life
Yes.
that we are in, until we put that on, the Bible says we have to put on love. I don't know if I see it happening, and that's why I think the core mission.
And I totally agree with you. And because Jesus is love, God is love, therefore only love will solve this issue. And sadly, I say that in the area there is no love. There is a lot of revenge, which is against love. And there is a lot of hatred, which is against love. And there is a lot of killing, and there is a lot of revenge.
And because that's a root of selfishness.
Yes.
Everybody wants their self.
Yes. Yeah, you just imagine, instead of love, these four things, revenge and killing and hatred and all this, we are trying to solve it through governments. It will not be solved.
I remember one time you told me, you were helping me learn about Islam. And you said, we talked about the 5 pillars of Islam.
Yeah.
And you said, what the difference is Christianity has one.
Yes.
And that pillar.
The pillar is love. God is love.
Yeah.
Others have got many. Well, congratulations. Let them use each one. But let us come to the result. We want a result now. In this area, most of the people who are in the area are Muslims.
Yeah.
Syria, Turkey, Iran, and everybody, and Iraq. There are little Christians.
So peace there isn't going to happen until the church fulfills its mission of reaching people with the love of Jesus. So whether it's through World Compassion or any other ministry
Yes.
that's working over there,
Yes.
as the body of Christ,
Yes.
we have to stay on mission. I'm concerned that people are disenfranchised with the Middle East. They're disenfranchised of giving to things in the Middle East. They're worn out in giving relief. And I do it. We do it. I lead an organization that has to raise money to do these projects.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like it's overwhelming, and is it worth it? But I think it's in those moments that we have to keep pressing on, we have to keep sowing seed, and we have to keep advancing the mission that Jesus gave us, because there is no solution to the issue in Turkey, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. There is no solution to Shia and Sunni until these people have the veils removed from their eyes and the truth of the gospel presented to them, and they receive that in their heart. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us. I say we do this again sometime. I think people who are going to watch these, it's going to be interesting to them. It's going to help them understand and then bring it back to the importance of what it is that we are doing together, partners of World Compassion. We can't do the work that we're doing without them. So people who give and they help put a blanket in someone's hand or food, that at the end of the day, that simple act is the seed that leads to the solution that we're looking for.
Correct. Thank you very much. And we will always put in front of us that God is love, and love is for everybody.
That's right. Even our enemies.
Of course, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
George.
you, Jason.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying these conversations with General Sada. It really is a great opportunity for us to gain a little bit better understanding of what's going on in the Middle East. But we also want to invite you to be a part of the solution. As overwhelming as it seems in the Middle East sometimes, we really do believe that Jesus is the answer. And you can participate. A simple gift, a gift of $20, $25, $50, or whatever you can give to help provide a blanket to somebody, a heater to somebody, to help a young lady who has been displaced from her city and her home to learn how to sew. Your giving makes a difference in the lives of these people, empowering the local church there to help build relationships with people and introduce them to Jesus, who is the answer. So you can give right here on our website if you want to. We can't do this work without you. It is people like you who are giving, partnering with what we're doing with the church over there, that makes this happen. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Thanks for standing with us.